Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We have been working on this beautiful Williams Hurricane pinball machine. There's the back glass sitting over there that a customer brought us, and we've been trying to get this thing up and running for him. He's got an interesting issue I'll show you here in a second that we're trying to track down. In the first video, we looked at that a little bit. We looked over the creation of the art on the game by Python Angelo, legendary pinball artist. Looked at some of his stuff a little bit. And then we took out the CPU. There was some little bit of corrosion stuff going on there. We removed the battery holder that was remotely mounted, cleaned up some stuff, and we put an NVRAM in it. And we had some issues with the display where it was garbled and jumbled and a bunch of stuff. Ended up being just a dirty connection on the ribbon cables, it seems like. And then the NVRAM has got it where it's now saving settings, and we've got it set on free play at the moment. Got the volume turned down a little bit. And at the end of the video, we finally played it again, and the same exact thing was happening. So what happens is, if you knock a ball into the left juggler, it just sits there, and the right kicker starts kicking. The way it's supposed to work is it lands in the left, it shoots it up and around, it lands over on the right, there's a saucer down there that you can't see that I'm pointing at, and then it kicks the ball out of the saucer. He juggles it. He can't juggle it back that way, by the way. He can only go that way. So the ball lands in there and just sits there. So I know what you're thinking. The pop thing doesn't work. Oh yeah, it does. If you go on a test, it works fine. So I know what you're thinking. The switch doesn't work on the popper. Yep. Yes, it does. When you go on a test, it works just fine. Well, I know what it must be. It must be that the switch doesn't work on the right. So, yes, it does. If you go on a test, the switch on the right works just fine. And the solenoid on the right works just fine because it keeps trying to kick the ball out. So I looked into, well, maybe the wires are crossed or something. Nope. If you go in a test, it knows that this is the left and that's the right. And it knows this is the left switch and that's the right switch. And if you test the left switch, it says left juggler. If you test the right switch, it says right juggler. If you test the left juggler solenoid, it pops it. If you test the right juggler solenoid, it pops it. But yet the problem persists. And it's not just it does it every once in a while. It does it every single time. So I'll show you once more what it does so you can get your mind around it. And then we'll see if we can figure out why it's doing that. There's something strange going on. All right, so we'll get the ball up in there.
Hurry, hurry.
So you can see the issue, and then we'll see if we can fix it. I missed the shot. We might be here a while if I keep missing the shot. I guess I could do the Todd Tucky. Todd cheats sometimes. I've seen him do it. We all love Todd, but he'll take the glass off, and then he'll hit the switch and tell you that what it's going to do. And it didn't. Oh, it did kick the ball back out. Okay, here we go. Todd, you're not supposed to cheat like that, buddy. I would never do that. Well, I might. Todd's been doing it longer than me. He knows more than I do about it. So I may take his advice and cheat. I mean, it's not like a horrible cheat. It's, it's just a minor cheat. If I was a better player, I wouldn't have to cheat. We'll just cheat. All right, so the ball has landed in the juggler. Okay? And what's going on is the eject for the wrong side is kicking. So what the hell is that? Right? That seems weird. All right, so let's go into test mode, and I'll show you some interesting stuff in test mode. Okay, so we're in test mode. And it says the left juggler. Ooh, it just said right juggler, didn't it? Aha! We found it. I knew we'd find it. Okay, so the left switch is closed, it thinks, and the right switch is closed. So what's probably going on is they're trying to eject the ball because they think maybe it's in multi-ball. And if it was in multi-ball, there's probably something in the code where if there's a ball on the right and a ball lands on the left, don't kick the ball on the left until you get rid of the ball on the right. That's my theory. That's my theory, folks. Okay, so so the right juggler is stuck on when it shouldn't be. So let's do this. I believe we saw that the trough switch 1 was screwed up too. Let's try that. Left juggler, trough 1, always closed. Ball shooter, Ferris wheel, left juggler, trough 1. All right. Boy, it's going to be a good video. All right, so I took the ball off the ball shooter. One of the balls is in the left juggler. This is going to be another one of them videos I get banned. Look, folks, watch this video while you can, because once the AI searches through me saying ball and juggle 10 million times, they're going to take it down. Okay, so we have no balls in the trough. I'm going to start calling them something else. But it says left juggler and trough 1. There's our clue. So I'm going to put the ball back in where it goes down to trough 1. Okay, that says out hole. Okay, now trough 1 is closed. But the right juggler is not. Okay, let's try trough 2. Okay. All right, we got some damn good information now. Okay, I can work with that. These are my favorite types of problems to figure out because they're logical. There's a solution to them. It's like doing a Sudoku puzzle or something. Like there's a logical reason that it's doing what it's doing. And so as we get more information, we should be able to Sherlock Holmes it. You know, we should be able to figure out just from the clues what must be going on, right? So the left juggler is working fine, it appears. But my theory is that it believes that the right juggler... I was just thinking about the multi-ball thing. Okay, so it thinks that there is a ball on the right juggler. Okay? And because of that, it will not kick the ball off the left juggler because then it would land on top of the ball that's already on the right juggler. There is probably an actual piece of code that the engineer actually wrote to prohibit that. If this switch is closed, do not allow the up kicker on the left juggler to shoot. Right? So it's disabled because of this right switch. That's why it keeps trying to kick out. Kick, 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 kick. Right? Now, whenever we first turned it on, the very first time, the ball was not on the left juggler. All three of them were in the trough. And when you turn it on, this right juggler out hole keeps trying to kick, like you just saw, right? So it thinks that switch is closed. And if you go into the switch test, it thinks that it's closed. However, if you remove the balls from the trough, it no longer thinks that's closed. So we don't have a problem on the left juggler switch or the right juggler switch. We have a problem on the trough 1 switch, because this one is telling us it's closed all the time. The left slingshot works. The left juggler, we believe, works. Yeah. I think there's a problem with this switch, and it could be as easy as the diode is bent. And so it's screwing up something on this column. Right? It could be there's a problem on the trough too, but remember this trough 1 says it's closed the whole time, even when the ball is not on trough 1. It's always on. But whenever we drop the ball onto trough 2, that was when it told us that now the right juggler is on. So there's a problem here or here is my guess. If I was just going to guess, the diode is bad on trough 1, or it's stuck together, or there's something weird where the blade is touching the other blade and it's not even paying attention to the diode or whatever. There's going to be something screwed up on trough 1 that can probably be fixed by just bending it back out of the way. So that's my Sherlock Holmes guess about it. Let's go see. So if you didn't watch the first video about this, we looked at the CPU, which is where the switches are handled. And I checked there was some battery damage that had been cleaned up, and I checked the traces. I found one trace that was a little shoddy, but it had nothing to do with this area of the switch matrix. So I don't believe that was it. And we cleaned up the connectors and things on it, put it in an NVRAM, and it fixed a few issues that we had, like the display and things like that. But it did not fix this issue. So I don't believe the problem is on the CPU board. But, you know, so this is trough switch 1 here. So I'm going to close it and see if we can hear it close. You hear that? Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is make sure that the diode is the right way. Or is that our problem right there? Is it touching? I don't think it was touching, but it could have been touching. You hear that click? So the switch is probably working all right. We'll test it. Sometimes, if somebody replaces one of these, they put the wire on the wrong spot. So we've got the white wire is on the non-banded side of the diode. White wire here is on the non-banded side of the diode. White wire here is on the non-banded side of the diode. So that's probably correct. All right, so I'm going to check. See which one is 2. So this one's number 2. Also sounds good. That doesn't necessarily mean it is good, but and here's number 3. Now just because you hear it doesn't mean it's good, but it's just a quick test you can do. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to check those 3 diodes and see if any of them are shorted. All right, folks, so we're going to use our handy dandy fluke here. Look, I chopped it in half, poor thing. Now, you can't really see it because we're not close enough, but on a diode, there is a banded side, the anode, and then there's the other side, it's the cathode. And power can flow from the non-banded side through the banded side. It will give a voltage drop, though. And a diode check will measure that. So normally, it will be something like this. 0.5. So between 0.4 and 0.6, somebody is like going crazy outside. We'll see if they come in here. Might have to get insane on them. Okay, so 0.5. Okay, now if you this is the power lead, this is the ground lead. If you reverse them, so now the power is trying to go through the banded side to the non-banded side. It should not be able to do that, or it will raise it up. So you might be saying, well, why in the hell is it doing it? I think it's because I'm pushing down on it. Is it closing it? Or is this switch bad? Oh, it's because of the way that... I think it's because of the way the thing's wired. Yeah, because it's normally connected, isn't it? Let me try. I don't have enough hands here, people. Because of the way the switch is wired, with the diode on the switch, you can't do it that way. Okay, so 1.4. So it should be above 0.7 or so, where basically voltage cannot get through that band, right? But going the other way, you should get between 0.4 and 0.6 or 0.7, something like that. So this one is working fine. So let's try our hole 1 here. And I'll hold the switch closed so that it works. Ooh, it's tough. All right, so that seems fine. So I was trying to go backwards. And then trying to go forward, 0.5, that's correct. Okay, so let's try numero 2, which was this one, wasn't it? Oh, I knocked something off. .4. Now we'll go the other way. .5. So it's fine too. So trough 2, trough 1, both seem to be just fine. And unless that wire was touching, I think everything's cool. Okay, so I checked all 3 of those diodes. They were fine. I actually took the 2 switches on the juggler loose, just because it was hard to get to the diodes. Both of them are installed properly, and both of the diodes are fine. But I just left the 2 switches hanging loose, and we don't have anything shorted closed now. So I wonder if that first one was touching. I'm going to go ahead and just... We're going to make it do what it did before. I'm just going to touch those 2 together and see if that gives us the same effect. Okay, if those 2 were touching, that would lock on the first one. And if the second one was closed, let me see how we can do that. Okay, we're on trough, that's trough 3, that's not it. Here's the second one. Alright, so now my theory is if trough 2 is closed because there's 2 balls on it, and if I hold on, if I short that first one together, we'll get the same issue. No, I don't know. I don't know, folks. I guess those could have been touching. I don't. Okay, so I'm gonna put the 2 switches, mount them back in. It could have been one of those switches was shorted closed or something, but I don't think so. Everything looked fine, and I tested them individually in switch test before. So I don't think there's any problem with any of the switches. I tested all of them with a meter, and I don't think there's any problem with any of the diodes on any of the switches. So unless it's a problem with how the switches are mounted down there, maybe they're shorting out when they're mounted, it must have been that those wires were a little jumbled up on that. Alright, so I put those 2 switches back. I'm just being super thorough. The left juggler one is on, but that's because the ball is still sitting on the left juggler up kicker. So let's try turning the game back off and back on and see if it can see that it's there. Kick it over to the right juggler and then kick it out. And it did. Okay. Alright, so let's go back into test. Okay, so we've got the ball on trough 1. That's a good way to get shocked. Okay, so trough 1 does not have a ball on it. I don't know if I can touch both of them with this, but we'll try. Left juggler works. And it's... Did I jam it? It was really close. Oh, man, I don't want to mess up my hand. Please don't mess up my hand. Yeah, it was stuck down. Okay. So we got to mess with that a little bit. But, you know, it has a way of freeing itself when it violently kicks up. I don't know if this will touch it or not, but we'll try it. Yes, there's the right juggler. So left juggler and right juggler work. Ball 1 and 2 are not in there. Out hole works. Trough 1 works. Trough 2 works. Out hole works. Trough 3 works. Okay, so now we do not have left juggler or right juggler locked on. Let's push down left juggler again. It's working. And let's try right juggler again. It's working. I don't know, folks. It sure seems like those 2 wires must have been touching on the trough 1 switch, which makes sense. These ones right up here at the front are the ones that get smashed and moved and stuff the most. Okay, so let's try playing it again. Please work for me, Mr. Hurricane.
Hurry, hurry.
Please, Mr. Hurricane. Please, Mr. Juggler, juggle the balls.
12, 12, magic,
Bonus multiplier. Well, you know what? If that didn't work, that would really make the game suck. I can see why he was complaining. Not to mention the ball being stuck. I missed. I was trying that same shot. You know, one time might be a fluke. So the clue was in the switch test the whole time. And the clue was... Not quite enough. The clue was that the trough 1 switch was stuck on. So we've got some other stuff we have to do. I'd like to shoot it up in there one more time just to make show. Missed it. Missed it.
Guess you wait.
Todd Tuckey is a much better pinball player than me. Even if he does cheat sometimes. I got absolutely nothing. That's what I get for saying Todd cheats. What a cool game.
My grandma throws better than you.
Come on now.
What kind of throw is that?
Dunk the dummy. Alright, so there's some other things we need to do to it, but I think we fixed the main issue, and we got the NV RAM installed, which was what he specifically wanted. But there's some other stuff we're going to mess with. Alright, folks, it's viewer mail time. This time our viewer mail is almost as big as a jukebox. It's amazing. We can't even fit it in the... It probably won't go through that doorway there. Somebody has sent us something, and I didn't order anything, I don't believe. Joe, did you order anything?
Nope.
Joe said he didn't order anything. So there's something in here. It's wobbling in there. You know what I thought it was when I first saw it?
What?
I thought it was like a small hot water tank. It just seems like it's a big tank or something. Now, I don't know why I would need a small hot water tank. You think that's what they sent us?
Maybe there's a bunch of Diet Mountain Dew in there for me.
That would be cool. Joey would enjoy that. All right, so if you want to send us viewer mail, you don't have to send us anything of value, folks, but if you want to send us a letter or something, this is our address. Some people have been sending us stuff where they upgrade their machine, Joe, and then they take the old parts that they upgraded. You know, them horrible old parts that nobody wants anymore? Like the old displays, whenever they put the LED displays in, stuff like that. They send us the old ones, so that's cool.
Maybe the old ones are broke.
Yep, it's probably what's going on.
That's fine because we can fix it.
Yep, we can fix them.
And make a video and put it on YouTube.
Exactly. So we're doing a video right now, so it's partially open. Did you open it, Joe? You tried to open it, didn't you?
I tried to open it.
He couldn't get all the way through. Let me
Yeah.
show you the secret.
You're bleeding!
So we cut it open with this. Let's see what's in this bad boy. Oh, it's from Arizona. Oh, there's a letter. Someone has sent us a note. Let me read it. I got to proofread this. Okay. Ron, this thing has been knocking around the house for over 20 years, and I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. I thought you may be interested in playing with it, so here it is. I really enjoy your videos and look forward to every one. John. John, I appreciate that. Well, Joey, I'm going to need your help.
What do you think is in there?
I don't know. Pull it out. It looks big. Maybe it's a speaker. I think it's a speaker.
It's in styrofoam.
Styrofoam. All right.
More styrofoam.
More styrofoam. That's not parts of it there, is it?
I hope not.
Okay. Let's see what we got. Ooh, I like the way this is going. I see old wood. Aha! That's going to be a Griggs. That's going to be a. Don't tell me. I'm not looking. I'm just pointing the camera at it. That's going to be. What is the name of that brand? It's like a German brand, I think. Let's see. Does that say Maria? No.
It's I-B-E-R-I-A.
Iberia. Wow. Volumen. Now this stuff here, folks, don't worry about that. That's easily repairable. This is what's most important is the grill cloth. This little thing's broke. We'll see if that was already broke. Oh, I guess there was probably a like a nameplate there, but it's not in the box, so that was already broke, which is fine. I'm just saying. Let's see, Joe. See that little plate's missing on the bottom? It's broke. See if any of it's in there. I don't think it is. I think it was already like that. Yeah, I don't see any of it in there.
Don't think so.
Yep. Okay, so it was already like that. Okay, cool. So in other words, it made it in one piece.
So FedEx is okay.
FedEx didn't do it. It was well padded. It made it in one piece. All right, let's look at the back of it, Joe. Iberia Radio SA. Now, do you know what the SA stands for?
No idea.
It's something. That means it's Spanish. So it means it's like Spain. It has something to do with it's a corporation in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells us it's Spanish.
That's what I thought.
And it's a Modelo H76, but that wouldn't be 1976. This was going to be a lot older than that. I would guess this is probably from the 50s, be my guess. So that's pretty cool. All right, well, we'll do a video fixing this sucker if I can, and we'll make her look better. And yeah, I'd be happy to have it. So I appreciate that, John. Let me know, send me an email or something. Let me know if I can at least pay you for the shipping or give you a little bit for it. You don't have to just give me this. So maybe I'll save this. Well, I'll probably go ahead and put it in one of our videos, but I'll save it for whenever we do the repair video too. So I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so one of the things I wanted to mess with was this little cliffy or whatever it's called, this ramp protector here. Now this ramp is just plastic, and there is a little metal plate on each side. I think that was added on. That might have not been original. You can see the same kind of things going on here. This one, the ramp is all missing from behind it, so there wasn't a way to put two screws holding it in, and this screw has been replaced with the wrong one at some point. So what I did was I took an extra spinner or gate bracket and bridged it from the hole over here that can't mount in the plastic to this side to hold it rigid. So now it's holding it open where that thing can't move around, right? So I did that, and then the next thing I'm going to do is we've got a lamp string out. If you look, some of these lights don't work. Well, if you follow it around on the back, it's all of the ones that have a white and brown line. So we need to trace that and see what's going on with that. None of those lamps work on the back box. All right, so back on the schematics, the power supply creates the 6.8 volts or whatever it is for AC for all of those lamps, and then it goes through the power driver board. So one side of them run through fuses. So there's 5 fuses and 5 lines going out. And then the other side has triacs that can turn that on and off. That's how you get the flicker effect and all of that. So it could be we've got a problem with one of the triacs or something, but what's probably going on is that we've got a blown fuse or a bad connection on J120 on the driver board. We haven't done anything or even looked at the driver board yet, so I'll see if I can find that connector. All right, so the game is still on. There is connector J120, and if you look, see the brown area over there? So there are our wires running in. So I'm going to try wiggling that and see if we get our light back. The lights are blinking, but I think it's because it's telling it to blink. I didn't do a dang thing. These bigger ones, I know you can't see anything. These bigger ones, those are for the play field down underneath. These smaller ones are for the back box, I believe. White and brown, yes, it's this one. All right, so let's see about our, everything on the playfield looks like it's good, but I think that's because, Here on the back box we've got white and green, white and orange, and white and brown. So 3 of them are used on the back box. I would think that you'd need more than 3 for the playfield, but it could be a fuse. So I'm going to turn it off and check those fuses there just to make sure that's not the issue. All right, so I have checked continuity. Well, I won't do it now because we're turned on. I've checked continuity on all of the there's 2 sides to the AC. There's the side that goes through the fuse and then the side that goes through the GI triacs. And if you all of them are properly joined through the board out to the wire. And then if I check the wire, there's continuity through the wire all the way onto the insert. So I've got my meter set on AC, and if we check on the green lines, we have 6 volts. Now it's flickering right now because they're actually flickering right now. It's turning it on and off. But we have 6 volts, okay? If I check on the white and the brown, we do not have 6 volts, of course, which we already know. So how do you figure this out? Well, there's an easy way to do it. If I leave my my negative or whatever on the solid colored wire on the green, since they're in pairs, and then check the not solid color wire, the striped wire on the brown, I've got 6.6. Now why is it higher? I guess because there's no load. But so what does that tell you? It tells you that the green wire works, which we know, and it tells you that the white and the brown wire works, right? If I do it the other way and check using the solid brown wire as the ground, it's the neutral, you know, because it's AC. And then I check to the white and green striped wire. I do not have 6 volts. Okay? And if I check on the brown, of course I do not have 6 volts. So what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that the problem is actually on the solid brown wire, because the white and brown wire has voltage on it when I compare it with the green circuit. So if I use it for one leg of the AC, it works. If I use this for one leg of the AC, it doesn't work. So the problem is on that brown wire. The brown wire, if I wiggle it over here, I do not get my lights back on. Nothing happens. So I believe what's going on is we've got a bad triac on the power board that turns those lights on and off. So we're going to pull that power board out and look at the back of the board and see what we can do about that. All right, folks, I believe I've found the problem. I've found what appears to be a problem. I've seen this before. So basically you've got this one connector down here on the end where the power comes in from the transformer. And then one side of it, you know, it's AC, so there's a neutral side and a hot side, you know, so I guess is the best way to describe it. And so you've got 5 wires, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 here that come in and they run through fuses. Okay, so like this one comes in, it runs through a fuse, and then it runs right out the board. And there is one connector up here that is the back box, like we were talking about. And there's one connection down here that is the playfield. Okay, so some of the light strings, and this is general illumination, so basically it's stuff that's usually on all the time, right? So some of the light strings only go to the playfield, and some of them only go to the back box. So I looked in the manual, and it was exactly like we thought. The green, the orange, and the brown go to the back box. The purple and the yellow go to the playfield. So the playfield is done with just 2 general illumination strings. So why is there 3 going to the back box in this particular case? Well, just because there's tons of lights on that insert in the back, you know, and I've got that spinning wheel, and there's a bunch of lights behind that and everything. So it's just part of the effect for this particular machine. On some other ones, they may not have 3 going to the top. Maybe they can do it with 2. But the hot side runs through the fuse and goes back out. Now we checked that, remember, on the machine, and the power was on the hot line. Our problem was on the other line, which is the neutral. So the way that they power all of this from the transformer, I'll show you in the schematics here in a second, is they send up power from the transformer off of the same winding that's 6.3 volts between this side and this side. So at the transformer, there's just one wire, a hot wire and a neutral wire. And then they split it, and when it comes up here, there's about 3 wires. And then they run jumpers to connect a couple of them together and stuff. But it all goes back to the transformer, where it's one wire on one lug, on one winding of the transformer. Why are they using multiple wires? It's not to split the different circuits, it's for heat reduction, because they have this problem where they're running so much amperage through there that it starts burning up the connectors. So they run the power through on separate lines. And it's not 5 separate lines, it's 3 separate lines, or maybe 4. And then on the other side, they do the same thing. So on the neutral side, at the transformer, it's one wire. It gets split into several wires and then connects in several different places. It connects at 5 of these pins, but they only use like 3 wires to do it. So I'll show you the plug on the machine. So these are called insulation displacement connectors. So the white and the yellow is the hot or whatever. And you can see that one wire comes up and curves around and connects to 2 pins. And then there's 1 pin missing. And then another wire comes up and connects to 2 pins. And then there is a third yellow and white wire that connects to 1 pin. And then over here on this part of the connector, there is another yellow and white wire that connects to 1 pin. So they have 4 yellow and white wires coming up from the bottom. and they're connecting to 6 pins with it. We need to check to make sure that that's correct and that they're doing that right, because there's only 5 fuses. Why are there 6 wires? I digress. And then we have the yellow here, and the yellow comes up, connects to 2 pins, this one wire. This wire connects to 2 pins, and this wire connects to 1 pin. So maybe this is actually the hot, and this is the neutral. We'll look on the schematics and see. But you can see how they're using 3 yellow wires and 4 yellow and white wires, and then they loop them around, just to kind of, I guess, disperse the heat over different pins. So here is where that's shown. So if you look back at the transformer, it starts out as just, 2 wires. And then they split it into 4 wires on the neutral part and 3 wires on the hot part. And then they come over to here. This is what this connector is basically what we were just looking at. 1 wire goes straight in, 2 of the wires loop around and go to 2 pins. And then on the other one goes straight in, 2 loop around, go to 2 pins, and then 1 is connected straight to ground on the board. If you go back, it doesn't show us. Well, it'll show us here. Well, no, it won't. There's some pretty serious amperage on those fuses. 107, 108, 109, 110. So each one of those is a 5 amp fuse. I don't know how the math works on that, but there's 5 circuits, they're 5 amps. I don't know if, I guess each circuit could pull, 4 amps at the same time, so it could push 20 amps through there or something like that. I don't know, that may be wrong, but, so it's just a common problem on pinball machines where the light circuit burns up connectors. It's one of the reasons people put LEDs in them, because they use less power. So that seems to be our problem. So I'll show you the connector on the board. So this is that connector. So these are the wires coming in, not the ones going out. Right? So these are our hot, and then these are our neutral. And you can see they look pretty crummy. It's not great. The other side looks worse. So if you track down, the string that isn't working is controlled by the triac right here. And the way I'm telling that is because that trace goes to that last pin there that we're having a problem with. That's the brown wire. So it's that triac that's supposed to turn it on. So the way a triac works is if it, I think it gets a low signal and it makes the 2 other pins, or two of the pins conduct, and then it gets another one, or it gets a high signal and it turns them off or something like that, right? So I may have that backwards, but it turns on the ground on and off, and it can handle high voltage. It can handle, depending on which one it is, I guess, it can handle fast switching too, so they can turn it on and off several times, and by doing that you can get the lights to dim. And if you watch on a Williams pinball, when it does that, they don't just smoothly dim, especially since they're LEDs now, though LEDs have more of a problem with dimming, but they don't just smoothly dim, they'll flash a little bit. It's because that triac is actually, it's not turning it down to like an old rheostat did, the old dimmer switches that you had in the wall, or at your house. They're not like that where you turn a knob. What they're doing is they're turning on and off, on and off, on and off. So the LEDs don't get enough voltage, or the lamps don't get enough voltage to light up fully, and it dims them. On an incandescent bulb, it looks a little better because you don't notice the flickering as much. But on an LED, when these dim it, you start seeing the, shutter dance, whatever the hell it's called. So it's this particular one, okay? And it gets its power lead from down here, or its ground lead from down here on this trace. So we'll see which pin it's actually connected to. So it's connected to this pin, pin 5. So the one we're having a problem with is the 5th pin from the end here. So that is this one. And it, you know, it looks hot, like it's burnt up. Now it is connected still to it whenever I test it, but it looks pretty rough. You can see one has already came off and they replaced it. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this connector, and I'm going to look at the connector in the game. It's probably all right, or I don't know. It may be, it may not be, but we're going to replace this connector, get it nice and strong, and I'm going to actually connect these all together. I'll talk about that more after I do it. All right, so I've put a brand new connector on. I still have to cut the king plug off. We'll do that right now. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's pin 9. Let's see if it's marked. I'll wait till we get out there just to make sure that it's pin 9. But it's pin 9 according to the school. But I want to talk about this connector. So what I have done, now if you don't do this, people, don't do this. So if you do it, I told you not to do it. Okay, so the first pin here is actually different. That's the one that's a yellow and white wire. And then, have we got that right? Yes. So that's the yellow and white wire, that's the ground. And then these are the yellow and white wire. You see what I'm saying? So you can't join all of them together or anything. So I very carefully joined a few of them together. So that is a ground, and it is actually connected to the ground plane on the board. You can see it right there. Right? And then these are the grounds, and I've connected all of them together. They didn't used to be like that. They were, each one of them was separate. Okay, and then these 5 are the 5 hot lines that go to the 5 fuses. The other 2 are over there, right? So if they've got them all separate, why would I connect them together? It's because of what has proven to be a design flaw, in my opinion. Now, I'm not complaining. I don't complain. And it's just, I think this works better. So I have joined these 5 together, which is the hot lines. And I have joined these 5 together. Again, this one is by itself, and it's just connecting to the ground. All right. So here's my thinking on that. They're all joined back together at the transformer. And then it uses different lines to send the amperage up to the board. But the problem we're having is, let's say this one's drawing 5 amps constantly through that connector. It burns the damn connector up. And then this one might only turn on every once in a while. Maybe it's just like 3 lamps on the back box. But maybe this one flickers constantly because it's the left GI on the playfield and the coin door bulbs or something, right? So what you end up having is these have a different amount of current running through them because of the load on the other end. So the load, let's see, it needs 5 amps here or whatever it is, and it's all pulling it through this one line. But this next one, or this bottom one, is only using 0.5 amp, and it's pulling it through this line. Well, you're stressing the hell out of that one, but you're not stressing this one very much. So, every time you have a connector, that's a weak point too, especially a PCB mounted connector. So by joining these together right here, it's before any of the lamps, and it's before the fuses. Technically, if this is a very nice connection, it's brand new like we just did, they're already joined anyways. They're joined back here at the transformer. I'm just bumping it up the line and having them joined here as well. So think about what's going to happen. Let's say that these 2 always pull 5 amps and these 3 always pull 1 amp. So you're pulling 13 amps total off of the transformer, right? So these 2 just get a lot more current because they have a lot more lamps connected to this string as opposed to this string. And it is kind of unbalanced. It's just the way the thing's designed. Depending on, if they've got all those lamps in the back box, those lines don't even go down to the playfield. And so if they've got a bunch of stuff in the back box, I'm sure they had a number of, that they decided was appropriate to put on the line. And it's not, they didn't do anything wrong, it's just time has, this is one of the ways that it's deteriorated. So let's say you got 13 amps that you're pulling through these 5 fuses, 5, 5, 1, 1, 1, right? So these two always get 5 and they burn up. Well, if you have all of these joined, these 5 would all pull through 13, which is what these 5 are using, from the same place, through the same lines. So you would get on these 5 pins, it would only be pulling 2.5 amps. Is that correct? Yeah. It'd be pulling like 2.5 amps, 2.2 amps, something like that. So the one that usually gets 5 would only be pulling 2 point whatever, and the one that usually gets 1 would be pulling a little more, but blah, blah, blah. So I'm just trying to spread it out a little bit over the connection, just like they were spreading it out a little bit by sending several wires that they split. I think it's a smart idea. I've done it before. I think it's the way to go. So I have joined all of the hot lines and all of the neutrals. I've put a new connector on it, and that ought to fix our problem. All right, folks. Come on, baby. Much better. So I didn't have leads. So the ones that were missing, I'm testing by putting regular bulbs in. So I'll put some more in the ones that are still missing. We'll see if we can get it to look a little better. He can put leads in it if he would like. I'm trying to see if it does the dimming thing. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to check the lamps on the playfield too and replace the ones that don't work. Ooh, there was one there that was out before, but now it's working. Huh, must have been when I took the cables off. It fixed it. Okay, so I'm going to pop in the ones that are still missing, put it all together, and then we need to test play it. What a beautiful machine. Even with the leads, it looks great. It was even able to resist putting leads in it. All right, we'll play it just a little bit. If you've never watched me play videos, play pinball, I'm not any good at it.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right this way.
Ooh, I forgot about that shot. It's so cool. It's so cool. I'm trying to make our little special shot.
You got an arm like a wet rag.
Hey, quit that.
My grandma throws better than you.
Ah, shut up. Dunk the dummy. I forgot about the little loop.
You got an arm like a wet rag.
Wait till I get him. You wait.
I'm the world's tallest Ferris.
Oh, it bounced out on us. I'm trying to ride the world's tallest Ferris wheel. I can't get up there. I wonder what the skill shot is. Was that it? Probably not, no.
Try your luck.
I'm trying to backhand it up in there. Get up in, and we want to test the juggler. I want to see the thing on the back spin. Whoa. People. People. Hurry, hurry, step right up. He's busting a bunch of balloons.
Hurry, hurry.
Let's go again.
Step right this way.
No, we lost it. That was quick. This is a pretty cool machine. I like it a lot. I could see if you had Comet and Cyclone. that you would want to have this one too, and maybe Whirlwind. There we go. How freaking cool is that?
3 million.
I got millions and millions. I missed, and then it was so quick. See, I put the legs on it, so it's faster now. It's ramped up as it should be. So, folks, I'm not playing to like show you how to play it. Obviously, I'm not any good at it, and I'm not trying to hear people say, "Oh, you suck," for my health.
Grandma throws better than you.
The only reason I'm playing it is to give you the opportunity to complain about how there's a light bulb out.
$1 million.
If I didn't film this part of the video, you wouldn't be able to leave a comment like, "Oh, I think one of the switches wasn't working properly. I think the left flipper is a little weak. I can't play with my cat. It's got red flipper rubber." That's not how it's supposed to be. All right, folks, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun. What a beautiful game. Man, this is one to be proud of here. I hope he loves it. I hope he enjoys it for the rest of his life. I hope nothing ever gives him any more trouble on it. Very cool. All right, folks, we will see you on the next video. I hope you enjoyed it.